Rome with a Sports Minute, sponsored by Chase. Teams are now 0-5 the week after playing the Lions so far this season. Going back to last season, the last 10 teams that have played a game the week following the Lions game are 1-9. Somebody hooks somebody up to an IV or something because apparently Detroit leaves a wicked, brutal headache in their wake. I'm Jim Rome.
16, 17, a little bit better. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new? Stable's proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable. Available where fuel additives are sold.
The Wildcats play here. This is your home of Arizona Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball. This is the home of the Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying.
West Virginia Mountaineers. So looking forward to that as well. We're going to talk a little bit about that coming up today as well. We'll have a couple of different guests. We're going to talk to Derek Redd, who is one of the beat writers for the West Virginia Mountaineers. He will join us on the show. We'll chat with him about this ball club here that's coming in here. Both of these clubs are struggling, to say the least, on this season. 3-4 in conference play. The Wildcats are 2-2. I should say the Mountaineers are 2-2. The Wildcats obviously come in at 1-3. I can tell you one thing about this Friday that will be different from last Friday, and that is that I don't think we're going to get a 20-degree temperature drop like we did last week out here. They've got the Cool Fog fans rolling here at Illegal Pete's. Don't forget, this is the place to be. The Corona crew is going to be out here starting around 5 o'clock. We'll have a pep rally. This will be the third pep rally of the month. They've got the stage. The football team was out here last Friday. I don't know if I have not seen the schedule for this Friday, so I don't know if they'll be the special guests out here as they were for homecoming. But we will have the parade coming up for you and everything getting going around 6 o'clock this evening. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. What a busy night of sports it's going to be, not necessarily here in Tucson, but in Los Angeles, California. You've got Game 1 of the World Series happening tonight between the Dodgers and the Yankees, two legacy teams that used to play in the same city back in the day. And now on different coasts, but this will be the first time since 1981 that they have matched up in the World Series. So looking forward to the Dodgers and the Yankees Game 1 getting going tonight. And we had been talking earlier this week about how busy a weekend it was going to be in Los Angeles tonight. And we mentioned also, besides the fact that the Dodgers and the Yankees are playing at Dodger Stadium downtown, you've got the second game of the season in the National Basketball Association. The Lakers are hosting your Phoenix Suns. Both of those teams come into that game tonight at 1-0. And I completely forgot, there's also college football tonight in Los Angeles. The USC Trojans, not too far from the downtown complex, are going to be playing as well. They are going to welcome in Rutgers tonight. I would imagine it's probably the first time that Rutgers has ever played a game against the USC Trojans, probably ever and definitely in Los Angeles. If I was not estranged from my Trojan family, this game would have a lot of meaning because I got a lot of Rutgers people in my family from the folks on the Philadelphia, South Jersey side of my life. So we would be battling back and forth on this one tonight. Several of my cousins are Rutgers grads, so that game is also happening tonight in the sports realm in Los Angeles. So like we said, there was a lot of folks putting out tweets and TikToks earlier this week saying that if you're going to be in Los Angeles tonight, you might want to leave a lot early trying to get tonight for one of those major sporting events that's happening in the city. In fact, we saw some USC fans walk by just a little while ago, probably going down to one of the establishments here on the block to watch that game coming up. All right, we're going to chat. I mentioned Derek Redd's going to join us today. We're also going to chat with, get you set for some Pima soccer this weekend. We're going to talk to Frank Castro, one of the sophomores on the Pima soccer team. Also, last night, Arizona Volleyball lost to ASU. So the second time this season, the Wildcats have fallen to the Sun Devils. We'll hear from Terita Stubbs, the head coach, on what happened there. I went to that game last night, that match, and Arizona played about as well as they could play in the first two sets. They lost the first set to the Sun Devils 25-23, and then they came back and absolutely crushed the Sun Devils in set number 2, 25-15. They hit the Wildcats in set number 2 last night, hit 385. They could not miss. They were passing. They were hitting. It was as good a set, and as you'll hear Trina Stubbs tell you, it was probably the best set that Arizona Volleyball has played all season, and they did so against the number 13 team in the country. Unfortunately, though, they could not carry the momentum of that awesome second set into the rest of the match. The Wildcats went from hitting 385 in the second set to hitting 195 in sets 3 and 4, and the Sun Devils get out of here with a 3-1 win. They get the first point in the Territorial Cup Series, which the Wildcats have won the last 2 years. And so we'll get into that. Also, more Territorial Cup action. A point is on the line tonight in Tempe as the soccer team, Arizona Soccer, heading up the road to take on the Sun Devils. One match those two teams play annually, and that'll be for a Territorial Cup point series as well. You'll hear from Gianna Christensen. We've been talking about it the last 2 days, but you'll hear directly from her. No forks this week. No forks allowed this week. At dinner time, at lunchtime, at breakfast time, they took the forks out of their lives. We've been pushing it. That's got to be the theme now every time this year that we get into a Territorial Cup Series week. No forks. If you're a Wildcat, you cannot use a fork any of the weeks that we've got matches or games against the rivals to the north. That is the theme, and you'll hear Gianna Christensen talk about that coming up here a little bit later as well. Also, we were mentioning the World Series. That is our question of the day. Head on over right now to our Twitter account at Wildcats1290 for the question of the day. Who wins the World Series? Do you have the Yankees? Do you have the Dodgers? We kind of debated earlier this week, are the Dodgers the team of destiny? Because they were the team that most people thought after getting Shohei Ohtani in the offseason that they were going to be the team to beat in baseball. They have gotten to this point. Are you picking the Dodgers? Are you picking the Yankees? Early on in this poll, 78% saying it's going to be the Dodgers winning the World Series this year. So we're looking forward to that getting underway as well.
It's still
tonight.
Kind of surprising to me. It's been 15 years since the Yankees won a title.
Yeah, since 2009. Been a long time since we last saw the Yankees in the Fall Classic.
I couldn't believe it. So it's been, since 13 that they were even in the World Series? Or it was 9 the last time they were even in the World Series? I couldn't
9
believe
was when they won last against the Phillies.
That might have been the last time, if I'm not mistaken, that they were even in the World Series, which was mind-boggling to me because you think that they'd been there before, at least in this last decade. But
yeah, you're right.
Not so much.
In fact, not only that, but if you think about the late 90s with the Jeter era, like 96, 98, 99, 2000, and then 2009, and then this year.
Yeah.
So it's twice since 2000.
Yeah. That's crazy to think with all the success that they had.
may have something to do with that.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Exactly, for sure. A lot of the other teams have crept up because all we ever saw was the Yankees in the World Series for the longest time, and it's just shocking to me that it's been such a drought.
Mm-hmm. Well, seven straight trips to the ALCS for the Houston Astros. That's one way to keep the Yankees out of the conversation. Also, we've got tickets here for tomorrow night's game, Arizona and West Virginia. So if you do not have your tickets for the game, come see me. But I'm not going to just give you these tickets. You're going to have to earn them with some sports knowledge, preferably some Wildcat football knowledge. So come on down to Illegal Pete's. We're here 3 to 6. I'll give those tickets away maybe sometime around the top of the 5 o'clock hour. So the top of the 5 o'clock hour, we'll give away a pair. What do we have, Riley? A pair of tickets? 2 tickets. We'll give away 2 tickets coming up to the game. And I think we had some winners also on our Instagram contest. We'll have to get those winners out there and let you know who those winners were as well. It's DK on the Sports Tip. We're coming to you live from Illegal Pete's. It's Bear Down Friday, brought to you by Corona. So come on down, $5 Coronas tonight here at Bear Down Fridays. As always, the band, looking forward to seeing the Pride of Arizona, the Palm Line, and everyone else down here just a little bit later. I saw one of the dads. They got the DJ playing, they got the music pumping here at Illegal Pete's, man, and he was just walking by. He had his groove on, like I think a lot of the dads are going to have their grooves on.
Every weekend is family weekend for dads who are coming to visit their kids at college. That's how it works. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Right now, cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions that are reported Grant and Campbell and Grant Road, Irvington and Paula Verde, that crash reported on the northeast quadrant. Also east I-10 near Marsh Station Road, and repair crews on scene. Water main break on Skyline Drive right between Orange Grove and Pima Canyon Drive. Highs this weekend around 99, partly cloudy on Sunday, and it's 97 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? 'Cause I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We are coming to you live from Illegal Pete's, University Boulevard and Tyndall. It is Family Weekend. That's, I guess, the more politically correct way to say it versus Parents Weekend. And when I went to school, it was Parents Weekend, but now they invite all of the family, the brothers and the sisters, and that time will come. Although I don't know that I see a lot of, quote, little brothers and sisters. I see a lot of moms and dads and that type of thing, but I'm sure there's some brothers and sisters that have made the trip as well. Yeah, there might be a few grandmas and grandpas. We had some last year, I remember.
More than a few.
Yeah,
we had trying to get away from that Midwest
That's
winter.
when you hand deliver that care package that's 2 months into your freshman year. Yeah.
There might be more moms and dads from West Virginia here this weekend trying to get away from the weather there. They're going to be in for it coming in here tomorrow. Temperature is expected to be in the mid-90s at kickoff time. And it's going to be a lot different than what we had last Saturday.
Did you see the swing past this weekend? So it's 99, 99, 99, 73, 74, 73, 74. As soon as the weekend ends, it's going right back to that perfect, typical Tucson temperature this time of year.
Well, there you go. Just in time.
At least we get the weather cooling down at some point.
It would have been nice to have that last weekend when Dion and company were here and put them under the furnace, but unfortunately it did not work out that way. All right, we were talking a little bit earlier about Arizona Volleyball. They lost last night to the Arizona State Sun Devils. 3-1 was the final. It was a match in which the Wildcats played their best set of the season in set 2 and winning 25-15, but could not sustain it. Sometimes that's what happens with young teams. You just can't keep that momentum going. You get that stop at the end of the set, and then the other team is able to regroup, and that's what the more experienced Sun Devils did last night in beating the Wildcats. Let's hear from the head coach, Charita Stubbs, on the loss to Arizona State.
Our goal was to go point for point with them. And that was partly because the hitters, our offense was not good today by any stretch of imagination. We had 10 kills, 12 errors in the fourth set. You're not going to win in that situation. The hitters were just going out there swinging reckless abandon, and that's not good. In the second set, we were able to move the ball around and put it in different hands. The back row was something that we were scoring on. Then once they started putting the block up, because they didn't block it last time we played them. Once they put a block in front, then we went to the D, but then we didn't set it the way we were supposed to, and then the hitters were making errors. And it's one of those things we have to be better in that situation. It's a veteran team that's just doing their job out there. They didn't do anything special. They served a little bit tougher. I thought they struggled serving in the beginning. But then they got better as servers, and we got relaxed again.
So in the beginning, it seemed like there was that problem where, it was more errors than kills, and then that settled down for a long time, and then they went back into that. So what do you think is about that consistency? What's the issue there?
The consistency issue is that they don't believe enough in what they're doing and it being the right thing. They don't work hard the entire time. They go, okay, well, I did it that time and it didn't work, so I don't know. And then you can just see their whole body language and demeanor change, whereas no matter what, you have to go after it. The crowd was waiting to get involved, and we didn't allow them to be our 17th, 18th, 19th man on our team to be a part of what's going on.
Was that, though, the second set, was that the best set that they played this season?
I would say the second set's the best, yes.
What was done differently in the second set to win that one?
Well, we didn't play well in the first set. You know, it was a close win, a close loss for us. We shanked the ball, and then all of a sudden went out there. We decreased our errors, and Avery listened and put the ball where I told her to put it. And it's rough in that situation. So you can either tell your setter what to do the entire time, or you get them to figure it out on their own and intermittently put it out there, because then they become reliant on you. And unfortunately, this generation wants you to tell them everything until you tell them everything, and then they don't want to listen to what you say.
How often do you have? I mean, how often do you do that? Do you kind of run or tell her what to do, or let her have her own?
Probably about 30% of the time when we score.
I guess describe just how tough it is to capitalize on that momentum. I mean, you crushed them in that second set, but it just didn't carry over. Why is it so tough to get that momentum to carry into set 3?
Because we haven't been in that situation very often. It's like, I don't want to be the one to mess up things or going good, or let me go up there and do something spectacular when it's not necessary to be spectacular. It's just do your job versus trying to do extra. And that's part of youthfulness, across the board. And one of those things that we talk about is the ball that we got roofed on. Like Jordan got roofed on it, right, hitting that shot, which I've said a million times, that shot is not available to you on a late filling middle. And it's like, well, I was trying to go high. You weren't trying to go high, because if you're trying to go high, it would miss the way Carly missed on that last one when she was trying to go high. And that's what you do. It's like you don't have the ability to hit it straight down. And so they want to do things that's not in their wheelhouse. And you have to figure out how to explain that to them without crushing their spirit. That's hard.
And as far as serving, though, tonight you didn't give away those service error points. So what was the difference this week in just the serve part of the game?
Well, we had the individuals in our 6-on-6 competition. They had to serve multiple balls to a certain area, and knowing that they had to go after a person, they didn't have to look to me for it. They were able to reset themselves and know where the ball was supposed to go.
2 points at the end of the third set where it just didn't look like they were ready. Was that the case?
That's exactly what happened. Not ready. I wish I could blame it on something else, but I can't, unfortunately.
Yeah, those 2 points at the end of that third set, I mean, just like not ready at all. And that, again, a young team, but there are some veterans on this team, and they just could not keep that momentum going. Volleyball is just a weird sport. It's a weird sport from that standpoint when you get a team and they're playing so well like they did in that second set, but in the third set they just came out and it just wasn't there. The same thing you saw in the second set was just not there in the third set, and that can be frustrating when you're watching any team for that matter, but of course the Arizona Wildcats. So
digging is hard, DK. How much
serve
digging
receive? I think digging.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, it's
you get a corkscrew coming at you like with some kind of crazy spin on it.
It's not easy.
Not only that, but the idea that we were talking about, like volleyball is a very tough sport. It's also very confusing because you can hear a statistic of, this girl, she had 78 kills, 48 digs, and she had 22 aces on the night. It's like, oh, so they won. It's like, oh no, they can't. It was a close 5-match set. I mean, it was close.
It's one of those. It's one of those sports where you can, and I did this again last night. You can look at the stats, and the stats would have no cognizant reality to what's actually happening on the floor. Because if you looked at the stats in the fourth set last night, you'd have thought it was an even match, but Arizona State was dominating. But the stats don't necessarily always tell you that in volleyball like they do a lot of the other sports.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those sports where consistency is king. Like, you can't be a successful volleyball team because obviously you talked setting, DK. You've talked about setting so much these last 3 or 4 years. The idea of, being consistent with getting tough digs and then finding the setter and then setting up your hitters. And obviously your blockers at the line. The idea behind the consistency of that, and clearly this team has so much talent, but as you've talked about, young talent. And that consistency, I think, comes with playing together for long periods of time. You kind of really have to have that unspoken communication because everything happens out there so fast. And it's really just about staying together as a unit and making sure everybody's on the same page.
It is family weekend here at the University of Arizona. A gorgeous Friday down here on the boulevard. Moms and dads walking with their students, checking out all of the things to check out, all the shops and all the restaurants and all the establishments to eat. Wait, what you were saying? What now?
I said, give me flashbacks, man.
Yeah.
Working on University Boulevard during family weekend and homecoming are the two busiest weekends of the year. So when you bartend at one of those bars, especially back in those days when I was there, it was like 10% of the bars you see around there have all been built within the last 25 years. So yeah, family weekend and homecoming, very busy times for the people in the service industry on that block.
Make sure you send your tips. Leave
Yeah,
your tips.
exactly. There you go. It's fun. It's fun kind of seeing a lot of the different, like I said, we've seen some like I just saw a gentleman walk in with a Pirates hat on. I mean, you're seeing a lot of different, folks. Again, Arizona's a college that pulls in students from all across the country. So a lot of the parents are representing where their children are from here this weekend.
Is it one of those cool old-timey, like 1920s Pirates caps?
It was
an old-school Pirates cap.
It was the old-school P, the 1970s P that he had on his hat for sure. So I don't know if that's about as old school as I can get back to the Dave Parker, Willie Stargell, Kent Tekulve days.
Oh, I'd kill for one of those old box hats from the 70s.
Right,
I'd
like
kill
they look
to
like
have
they're
one
made
of
out
those.
of felt.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, we're going to talk some Pima soccer coming up. They've got both the men and the women, huge matches coming up tomorrow night up on West Anklam Road. Phoenix is in town. If you know anything about junior college soccer here in Tucson, you know it does not get any better than Pima and Phoenix. Frank Castro is going to join us. It's DK on the Sports Tip. We're coming to you live from down here on University Boulevard. Illegal Pete's, sponsored by Corona. Stop on by. They've got $5 Coronas this weekend. Corona is an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Live the fine life, as they like to say. All right. Cricket. We'll hear from her coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. She's got everything you need to know about what's happening around southern Arizona. I'm sure all the Halloween parties are going to be starting up. I saw some kids after I was leaving the volleyball game last night. I saw some kids dressed up walking down 2nd Street here on campus. So it's going to be Halloween weekend. I haven't seen any dress up so far since I got down here, but we'll be looking for some costumes. Well, maybe if we can see anybody in a costume, we'll pull them on the air as well.
What's the most popular costume going to be? Beetlejuice, maybe?
Beetlejuice
should probably be real up there.
I didn't know that was a thing again.
They made a new one. It came out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, the sequel came out not too. I imagine that for adults it'll be Beetlejuice and the lady. I forget the character's name, but Winona Ryder plays the girl in the story. I think for kids it's going to be a lot of Transformers because that also just got a new movie too, so that'll be big.
And Frozen, because that's still a thing.
It's still
apparently.
a thing. It's still a thing.
There you go. All right, Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions that are reported eastbound I-10 near Marsh Station Road, Ina and Thornydale, some slowing at the intersection. 12th Avenue and 44th Street. Northbound Kolb Road approaching Escalante. Mission and Ahaway with southbound and westbound backups also. Colossal Cave Road at I-10. 99 tomorrow is the high, 96 and partly cloudy on Sunday, 97 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The new Lux Cravings Box from Taco Bell. For $7, indulge in a Chicken Chalupa Supreme, beefy 5-layer burrito, and Doritos Locos Taco, plus chips and a drink. Get yours at Taco Bell for a limited time while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Excludes freezes. Tax extra.
NFL Sunday Night Football plays here.
Snap back to throw, looking right, throws right down. A man gets caught for the touchdown. He broke wide open, and Wilson put it right on his those numbers.
This Sunday night, it's the Dallas Cowboys taking on the San Francisco 49ers.
Our goal is to be leading our division after this bye week. We got to keep it close here and find a way to get a win next week.
Coverage begins at 4:30 p.m. We are Tucson's home for the National Football League. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is proud to support your Arizona Wildcat football team as they continue their season with another home game this Saturday at Arizona Stadium.
This week, the Cats take on West Virginia. Kickoff is scheduled for 4 o'clock.
To get your tickets, visit ArizonaWildcats.com or call 621-CATS. For more University of Arizona Wildcat football, including a complete schedule and link to buy tickets online, log on to WildcatsRadio1290.com.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? Because I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Hey, John. Why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Bingo. All right, Bill, we're recording now. And please put your phone on silent.
Oh, where is my phone?
Let's go, man. Okay. Get it together over there, player. Go ahead. Pick on me the way that you want to.
I wouldn't say that to my son.
Just go.
All right, why would people want to listen to the Sims Complete podcast?
A father-son dynamic duo talking about the game of football.
We do a lot of quarterback and coach talks. It's fun. I love doing this. It's been awesome.
Sims Complete. Check us out on the Believe Network. Appreciate it.
Just search Believe, BLEAV, wherever you listen.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Apply.
This is Jim Rome with the Sports Minute, sponsored by Wendy's. Any size soft drink for $1. Let me just go on record as saying that the ref show did not rip that game last night from the Minnesota Vikings. But there is no denying how horrendous that call at the end of the game was, or that missed call in this case. Sam Darnold nearly had his entire head ripped right off his shoulders. I'm Jim Rome.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime.
Phoenix College, a 2-1 earlier in the season. What kind of went down that night, and what did you guys not like, and what are you hoping to improve going into the rematch here coming up tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think it's exactly what the rankings showed. It was a number 2 against a number 4 in the nation, and I feel like that game definitely showed it. It was incredibly competitive and physical, and I feel like it was just one of those days where they just get the better of you, and I feel like we're going to play with a chip on our shoulder come Saturday, and we can definitely, if we get off to a quick start, which is something we've been focusing on a lot, I feel like we can definitely change the narrative come Saturday.
I know you guys are only in this JC thing for a couple of years, but do you get a sense of this rivalry? I mean, it's been a pretty knockdown, drag-out thing going back over the course, really, the last 10 years. Does Coach Cosgrove kind of give you guys a sense of, hey, when you talk about rivalries, this is it for us. These are the guys we want to beat every year, every time?
Yeah, we know the history. Coach Cosgrove, he definitely lets us know about it. And personally, in my 2 years, I have yet to beat Phoenix College, so I'm playing with a little personality there. And I feel like, yeah, I can't wait to play on Saturday. And yeah, I think everyone on the team is also fired up, and we'll be ready to go come Saturday.
All right, so since that loss, you guys have rolled off 8 straight wins. So what's been going right during this stretch, Frank?
I just feel like after a loss, it really is how you bounce back from the loss than how you take the loss, and I feel like we definitely bounced back very well. As you said, 8 games in a row, and I feel like that just shows the character of this team and how we can, how we can change from any adversity that we face, and I feel like that's something that every good team in this country needs, and something that definitely will help us hopefully in the future games come this season.
Frank Castro is our guest. He's a sophomore midfielder for the Pima Aztec men's soccer team. Aztecs and Phoenix Bears. Saturday, 6 o'clock will be kickoff up at the West Campus in a battle for first place and the number 1 seed in Division II for the upcoming region tournament. And Frank, you obviously play the midfield, but you do have a goal this season. Tell me about getting that goal earlier this year and what it meant to you to kind of be able to contribute offensively.
Yeah, it was definitely something that I've yet to do in my Pima career, and it was against the College of Southern Nevada. It just rolled back nicely for me, and I just hit it first time, and I guess I was lucky enough to see it go in because a lot of my teammates and coaches give me some stick for wanting to shoot from a little ways away, so it was nice to see that one go in, so I could kind of tell them, hey, maybe I can do this. So it was definitely a nice one for me.
So how far away were you?
Maybe 30 out. It was.
Wow.
I'm not too sure. I hit it. I kind of ran onto it and just hit it nicely, and yeah, I definitely one I'll remember for sure.
I always like to ask the midfielders and the defenders: is it? I mean, how tough is it to play? I mean, obviously you know it's there's not a lot of points or goals or whatever that come in soccer. A lot of low scoring games. Although you guys have a tendency to put up some big numbers on some of these teams, but it's got to be tough to be out there and not get a chance to score often. How do you deal with that as a player?
I guess I just have to understand my role. Since I'm more of a defensive midfielder, so my role is to sit in front of the back four and just keep things in check. And I feel like once you understand that role, it becomes more of a pride thing for you. And I feel like as much as the strikers want to score goals, I want to help stop goals and create chances. So even doing that, it almost feels like a goal to me when our defense or our midfield makes a good play. And if you treat every play like that, I feel like it definitely helps with getting over the fact that, yeah, you might not get a chance to score. You might get one shot in the last 5 games, but yeah, I just feel like doing your job and if everyone does their job like we have done in the past this season, I feel like it shows results, and yeah, I think that's the most important thing.
That's why you got to crank it from 30 feet out when you get that one shot, right?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
We're chatting with Frank Castro, sophomore midfielder from Pima College. They've got a huge match coming up Saturday night up on the West Campus against the Phoenix Bears. Frank hails from Prescott, Arizona. How'd you get down here from Prescott? Did you look at a number of schools in terms of how you wanted to, or where you wanted to continue your soccer career, and how did Pima come into play?
Yeah, I graduated Prescott High School in 2022, and then I didn't really have much, to be honest. So I took a gap year in the year after I graduated, and I just played with my club team down in Phoenix. And I moved down there to Phoenix, and I just played for the year, and I played really well. And I didn't really have, again, that many looks. And then Kaz came to my phone, and he told me about the program, and I was like, yeah, this just sounds right up my alley. And yeah, coming down here, it's just been one of the best decisions I've made. It's been an excellent experience these past 2 years, and I don't regret one thing. And if I could do it all over again, I would come to Pima every single time. So it's been a great experience.
What did he say when he came up and talked? What did he say he liked about your game?
To be honest, I think he just saw my highlight video. I don't really remember him coming out to watch me play all that much. I came to a Pima ID camp in the spring of 2022, and he told me, he's like, yeah, you can maybe get on the team, but you'd probably be like a fourth string player. And I was like, dang, okay. So that was definitely helped my decision to take a gap year. And yeah, I'm not sure if he remembers that interaction that spring, but yeah, he came about the winter of my gap year, and he sent me a text, and then we had a few phone calls, and it was a pretty easy decision for me.
So what did you do during that gap year? What were some of the things you did to try to maybe make yourself more presentable to colleges?
I played. What helped was I played at Phoenix Rising, a club down in Phoenix.
Oh, wow, okay.
I played with their MLS Next team, and yeah, I was surrounded by great coaching and players that definitely improved my game for sure. And I kind of buckled down. I lived with my sister, just me and her, my older sister, and I buckled down. I started eating right and training hard, and it was probably one of the most beneficial years for me, and it was definitely necessary for me becoming the player I am today. And like I said before, if I could do it all over again, I would 100% do that, and it was definitely very beneficial for me that gap year.
What did you change about your diet that you felt you needed to take out and put in to get yourself in the premium shape you wanted to be in?
For me, it was just protein, I guess. And I always looked for foods I liked. Like, I love hamburgers, pizza, whatever, like anyone else does. And I looked online for lower calorie versions, and I would make those. And yeah, nice. And you get similar experience. It's not the same, but it was something that definitely helped me change in that aspect, and something I still do today. So
we're chatting with Frank Castro. He is one of the sophomore midfielders for the Pima Aztecs men's soccer team. The fellas are taking on the Phoenix Bears Saturday. It'll be a doubleheader, men at 6, women at 8. Both these matches have consequences to be had for the seeding in terms of the region tournament. What did you guys learn just kind of from last year? What did you learn about this tail end of the season, the region last year going into the national tournament? What did you guys learn from that last year?
We definitely learned that come playoff time, anything can happen. Doesn't matter who's ranked higher, who scored the most goals of the season. Doesn't mean anything. When the playoffs come, it's anyone's time, and we showed that last year with our tie and PK loss to Glendale in the semifinals.
Yeah.
And that was definitely something that a lot of the guys that were there last year still hold to this day, and we still remember it. And we definitely believe that you have to become a different team come the playoffs. And last year we just didn't. And I think that a lot of the guys know that this year. So hopefully we will put that into action and become a good playoff team.
Outstanding, Frank. Well, it's going to be a huge game coming up Saturday night with the Phoenix Bears, and then it's on to the postseason and a run to get to nationals down in Alabama. We look forward to kind of watching things play out over the course of the next couple weeks. Best of luck to you, Frank, and continued success to the team.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Frank Castro from Pima College. Again, get up there Saturday night. Women will play at 8, men will play at 6. Both of those matches against Phoenix College. Both of those with implications for the region tournament, which will be coming up the following weekend, the weekend of November the 1st. That'll be the regional semifinals. All right, much more in store for you. We've got some folks that came up and said they wanted to try to win the tickets to see the Wildcats play on Saturday night. So we will see how smart they are and if they can walk away with a pair of tickets to see Arizona and West Virginia in the first ever meeting between these two schools. It's DK on the Sports Tip. We're coming to you live from Bear Down Fridays at Illegal Pete's. Stop on by. The Coronas are just $5 today. Get yourself a Corona. And also, coming up, we're going to get you your high school football schedule coming up in the 4 o'clock hour as well. Lots of games going on here tonight in Southern Arizona. Right now, though, we're going to update you on everything that's happening in the world of sports across Southern Arizona and around the world with Dragon Ball.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
And now, I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather.
This report is sponsored by Raising Cane's.
Post Malone is teaming up with Raising Cane's to empower the next generation of artists. For a limited time, 2 exclusive
What's the CNWT? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK.
University Avenue, University Boulevard, I should say. People will get mad at me if I call it University Avenue. University Boulevard, it is Bear Down Friday. We're eating illegal pizza at the corner of University and Tyndall. It is family weekend. All the moms and the dads are strolling the boulevard with their students, getting ready for a matchup on the football field tomorrow night between the Arizona Wildcats and the West Virginia Mountaineers, and we could not have better weather. Like, we were here last Friday, and we're joined by John. John is with us here. John is, I don't think are you here for family weekend, John?
Yes.
You are?
Yeah.
So you have a student that is here? Okay, tell us a little bit about your student.
Actually, I don't have a
No,
student.
you don't have a student.
No, I'm a native Tucsonan, so
Okay.
we go to all the games.
All right. Outstanding. So what brought you down to Bear Down Fridays? You just kind of wanted to be down here. It looks like you're a season ticket holder.
Yes.
How long you been a season ticket holder?
Well, since 2018.
2018. What made you want to buy season tickets?
Well, just to support the U of A.
Okay.
Yeah.
Outstanding. And how old were you when you went to your first U of A game?
I think it was around 6 years old.
6 years old. Who was your first favorite player at Arizona?
Jackie Wallace.
Jackie Wallace.
Yeah.
That's a good choice there.
Yep.
That's a good choice. And you have a young lady that came here with you today. Who's this young lady that you brought with you today?
That's my wife, Jamie.
Jamie didn't want to come on the radio with us. She's not.
She's shy.
She's shy. Yeah. Did you go to U of A?
Yes.
Did Jamie go to U of A?
Yes.
All right. Did you guys meet at U of A?
No.
Did you meet in high school?
No.
No. When did you guys meet?
In church.
In church.
Yeah.
Okay. How old were you when you met her?
We were just been 10 years ago.
Okay. All right. So what did you like about Jamie when you first saw her? What was the thing that made you say, I want to marry that girl?
Very wholesome.
Very wholesome.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Very wholesome. All right. Well, you apparently want to go see the game tomorrow night, huh?
Yes, sir, David.
All right. So did you bring your thinking cap? Because these tickets don't come easy, John. You got to know a little bit about the history of the University of Arizona to get these tickets.
I'll try my
All right.
best.
I'm going to give you a practice question.
Okay.
All right. We'll give you a practice question to start to see where your knowledge is in terms of this Arizona football program. All right?
Okay.
You ready for your practice question?
Yes.
All right. True or false? Is this the first time in football that Arizona and West Virginia have ever played?
I would say it's true.
That is correct. All right. You got the practice question. That's the practice question. All right. Now, here's the question. For 2 tickets to the game, you're going to be in Section 11, row 26. I'm not sure where that is, but you'll be inside. All right.
Amen.
The Arizona Wildcats used to have a head coach who also, prior to being the head coach at Arizona, was the head coach at West Virginia. Name that coach.
Oh.
You want your wife to give you a lifeline? Could she give you a lifeline on that?
DK, what kind of offense did that coach run?
Wait, go J-Dub, say again.
I said, what kind of offense did that coach run?
Oh, yes. He ran a spread offense in this century.
That's a tough question.
You got this, John. That was about as easy a question as I could come up with for you, John.
I think Dragon Ball learned the concept of RPOs from this coach.
He came from, I can't. Yeah, it's not Brennan.
Wait, I think give him that clue once again. Give him that clue once again, J-Dubs.
I was just saying, I think Dragon Ball learned the concept of RPOs from this particular coach.
RPOs. Does that ring a bell? RPO.
Oh.
I'll give you one more hint, John. His name, his full name, was shortened to his nickname. So his nickname was his full name shortened.
I love alliteration.
And he coached for U of A.
Okay, so he coached at U of A. He became the coach at U of A in 2013. I'm sorry, 2012. And he coached here until 2017.
The wealthy man.
And he was also a former head coach at West Virginia.
Wow.
Come on, John.
Oh.
Also, his kid was a quarterback, right?
Yeah, his son was a quarterback on the team.
Rich Rod?
Rich Rod!
Oh,
Thank you. Oh, my God, John.
There we go.
Holy mackerel, John.
Phew.
I was about to kick you out of here, man. Come on. You're killing me. You're killing me.
I guess I didn't realize that he coached for West Virginia. Wow.
Smile for a picture right there. There we go.
Rich Rod.
Rich Rod. Rich Rodriguez.
Yes.
Shortened nickname, Rich Rod.
And once you said that his son was a quarterback.
That's what triggered it finally.
Yep.
Okay, the third question. You remember what his son's name was? His son's first name is also the name of a famous actor from probably your era, yeah. Starts with an R.
It's not Richard.
It's not Richard. How about Rhett?
Rhett Rodriguez.
Rhett Rodriguez.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I'm gonna have to send you home to do some more studying on your Wildcats, John.
Where did he move on to?
Well, he initially went to Louisiana Monroe, and now he's at Jacksonville State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, down in I think it's in Georgia or somewhere.
Right.
Jacksonville State. Yep.
And he's a senior probably by now?
Oh no, Rhett's coaching now.
Oh.
He's on his dad's staff now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
On Ole Miss.
He's actually the one. Apparently,
If you would have said who went to Ole Miss, I would have got it.
Exactly. He did go to Ole Miss for a while.
Yeah, isn't he the offensive coach for Ole Miss or defensive coach?
Who's that?
Rich Rod.
No, he's the head coach now at Jacksonville State.
Oh,
yeah, he left Ole Miss and he's back as a head coach now.
Yeah, a lot of things happen really fast.
Yeah, oh yeah.
With these portholes and stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
He's the head coach now at Jacksonville State.
All right.
Well, hey John, enjoy the weekend. Are you guys going to dine here on the boulevard, or are you guys going to stay for the pep rally?
We probably will.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'll stay. You want to shout out your church where you and your wife met? So
yeah.
Give them some love?
We met at St. Pius X, but now we go to St. Gianna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Outstanding. All right. Well, congratulations on enjoy the game tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you very much for
Absolutely.
the tickets.
John, ladies
Tough
and gentlemen.
questions.
John, that's an easy question, John. What are you talking about?
I just didn't know
couldn't come up with a more easier question than that for you.
I didn't know that he coached for West Virginia.
Yes.
So,
yeah, that's where he coached at West Virginia, and then he coached in Michigan, and then he coached here at Arizona.
All right.
There you go. All right.
Thank you, David.
Thank you for hanging out for a few minutes with us, John. All
First,
right. We're going to
First time on the radio and TV.
Yeah, there you go. Say, wave to all the people. There's the camera right there. Wave. All right, there you go. All right.
Wave to my wife.
There you go. There you go. Treat her right. Go out and take her out to lunch before the game tomorrow.
Dinner.
Right. There you go. After the game.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Cricket is joining us now. She is the fourth member of our program here. And Cricket, it is what?
It is
the weekend. Woo!
Finally.
Indeed. And I see you were off last Friday, Cricket. So you weren't with us when we got here last week. It was 83 degrees, and literally in an hour later it was 63. I mean the temperature just plummeted, and everybody was grabbing for jackets and coats and knit caps, and it got really, really cold. out here. I don't think
We're
we're gonna.
such
I don't think exactly we are. I don't think we're gonna. Don't think we're gonna have that. John, you can go now. You're good. Thank you. I have to dismiss class when we have guests because people don't know.
I thought it was dismissed.
To get up
Isn't
and
that
leave.
dismissed? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Class
That's your
dismissed.
catchphrase.
Class dismissed. That's the new phrase here. All right, cricket. Obviously, we've got family weekend happening here at the University of Arizona. What else is going on around Southern Arizona this weekend?
Well, tonight going to be a really cool concert. ZZ Top is live at the Linda Ronstadt Music Hall this evening.
She got
You can go to that
legs.
show.
She got legs.
She knows how to use them, man.
She does.
Happening through Sunday, the Marana Pumpkin Patch and Farm Festival, and also through Sunday, last night, Sunday night, final day for Nightfall at Old Tucson. The Slaughterhouse runs Thursdays through Sundays through November 2nd, Terror in the Corn through Sunday, and then also again on the 30th and 31st. And this is the last weekend for Boo at the Zoo at Reed Park. You must pre-purchase your tickets at reedparkzoo.org.
All right, looking forward to all of those exciting things this weekend. Cricket will have more coming up at around 5:12. We've been told, hey, you got to set those appointments. 5:12 will be the next time you can hear about other things happening this weekend in Southern Arizona, courtesy of Cricket. She knows all, and she gives you all that information every Friday. And she's also getting you to your high school football game on time, checking what's happening out on those roads tonight, Cricket. I can guarantee you one thing. The traffic here is nothing like it is in Los Angeles right about now. They got a bunch of stuff going.
Promise.
They've got the World Series there tonight. They've got the Lakers playing the Suns, and they've got a college football game all within about a 10-mile radius.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's traffic there's brutal without all that
Without
stuff.
all of that stuff going on. Yeah, so it's going to be very bad tonight. So if you want to help out any of the folks in LA too, feel free.
Excellent. Thank you. From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. We've got a travel blocked on Skyline Drive right between Orange Grove and Pima Canyon Drive due to an earlier water main break. Some travel being rerouted, so heavy backups. Westbound traffic on Orange Grove backed up from First Avenue back to Skyline Drive. We've got collisions that are reported at Pima and Craycroft, Ina and Thornydale. Kolb Road, northbound Kolb approaching Escalante, Mission and Ajo, and expect some southbound and westbound slowing there. 99 tomorrow, 96 on Sunday and partly cloudy, and 96 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com. With over 100 online casino-style games, Chumba Casino is your go-to destination for nonstop entertainment. Play for fun and play for free at ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void or prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Real football fans know that Tucson's home for football is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Yes.
We are your home for the Wildcats and the NFL. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey, Wildcat fans, Arizona football is here. Catch head coach Brent Brennan as the Wildcats enter their inaugural season of the Big 12 Conference. We need you to be part of the action, filling the stands and cheering on Arizona. Secure your seats for all 7 home games with season tickets, or pick the plan that is best for you by calling the ticket office at 520-621-2287 or visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/FB. Lock in your tickets today. We'll see you at Arizona Stadium. Bear down. Go Cats.
Quick, she's over here. I don't know. I just found her like this.
Yeah, she's banged up, but she'll be fine.
Oh, thank God. What can I do?
Just need the keys. And, sir?
Yeah?
Your car's gonna be fine.
Thank you.
Mobile detailing from Recon Auto Detailing. Tired of wear and tear on your vehicle or just tired of cleaning it yourself? We'll come to you. Book with us online and see why we have over 1,100 5-star reviews. Recon Auto Detailing. ReconDetail.com.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
It's a key ingredient called Tesnor. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. Total T is backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym home, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text TAP to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone-boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text TAP to 42424. That's TAP to 42424. Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Cheers to a great day and this ice-cold Corona.
You know what would make this day even better? My grandma's carne asada.
Or your grandma here with us, making carne asada.
She does love a cold Corona.
Throw in some dancing.
We can watch the game.
I'll drink to that.
So a backyard concert with football, food, dancing, and Corona?
And your grandma.
Or we could keep it simple.
Simple is good. Want a Corona?
Thanks. Salud to the perfect day.
Corona, la vida más fina. Get your Corona at ordercorona.com. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Import, Chicago, Illinois.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Android users, you can tune in to the home of the Wildcats by downloading our new app at the Google Play Store so you can tune in wherever you are 24 hours a day. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
I'm Rhett Lewis with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Week 8 kicked off in Los Angeles as the Rams beat the Vikings 30-20. Matthew Stafford throwing 4 touchdowns. Wide receiver Puka Nacua returned after missing 5 games with a knee injury. He had 7 catches and 106 receiving yards. Fellow wideout Cooper Kupp also returning after missing 4 games with an ankle injury. He had 51 receiving yards and a score. Kyron Williams added 97 yards on the ground and scored on a receiving touchdown, his 10th straight game finding the end zone. Rams now 3-4. For the Vikings, Sam Darnold threw 2 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson had 8 catches for 115 yards. Minnesota, with a second straight loss, falls to 5-2. In other news, new Chiefs wideout DeAndre Hopkins thanked the Titans for sending him to Kansas City. Hopkins said playing for a contender, quote, takes your game to a different level. Head coach Andy Reid added D-Hop could make his KC debut Sunday versus the Raiders. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon.
You get the idea. And now, get yours with $1 any size soft drink. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Hey, John. Why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, let's find out a little bit about the opponent coming up Saturday night for your Arizona Wildcats, the West Virginia Mountaineers. First ever meeting between these two programs. We're pleased to be joined by Derek Redd. He covers West Virginia football for the Ogden newspapers in West Virginia. And Derek, we all kind of dreamed about this matchup about 10 years ago when Rich Rodriguez was running things here. He's long gone from both schools, but we finally got the first ever matchup between Arizona and West Virginia. Has that kind of been a topic of storyline as well on your side this week?
It's been a little bit of a topic, kind of that first ever meeting, and it really has been much mention or Rich Rod, because I mean, with WVU's issue is they don't exactly know, or at least haven't announced just yet, who's going to be their starting quarterback on Saturday. With Garrett Green going out against Kansas State in the second at the end of the first half with that head injury.
Well, and that'll be interesting. That's obviously the number one topic on your side in terms of who will play quarterback. Garrett Green has gotten the majority of the snaps. Nico Marischal, who we had a chance to see play a little bit of high school ball out here up in Chandler in the Phoenix area after he came over from Colorado, got into the game last week. We understand one's a lefty, one's a righty, so you got two guys coming from different standpoints. Dwayne Aquina said this week you got to prepare for the starter, but break down for me what each of these guys brings to the table.
Well, what the coaches have said, mainly Neil Brown, the head coach, Chad Scout, the offensive coordinator, is the beauty of both Green and Markiel is that you don't have to alter the playbook too much when Nico comes in. That was the case in Oklahoma State when Garrett went out for a little bit with, I think what it looked like was a bit of a shoulder thing, and then Nico comes in, and the offense kept humming. They didn't have to reduce the playbook. They didn't have to limit themselves to what they were calling. They think that Nico is experienced enough and has enough grasp of the playbook to not have to limit themselves in any way. The only real difference is, one's a lefty, one's a righty, so you kind of got to switch things that way. But otherwise, they can keep things going with either quarterback in the game.
Mountaineers beat writer Derek Redd is joining us, getting you set for West Virginia and Arizona coming up this week. And it's interesting, these two teams are kind of mirroring each other right now. Both teams are 3-4. West Virginia obviously 2-2 in conference, so up on the Wildcats, but a lot of angry people in each fan base, a lot of injuries on each side. I mean, we look at our injuries here. We've lost 3 captains on defense in linebacker Jacob Manu and defensive backs Gunnar Maldonado and Trayton Stukes. How would you kind of categorize the injury situation that the West Virginia is dealing with coming into this game?
You're going to be missing one of the more important cogs in the defense, Aubrey Burks, who plays spear for them. Looks like one of their starting corners is also going to be out, Eden Garnes. But the big coin flip right now is not just Garrett Green, but their top offensive lineman, their left tackle, Wyatt Milam. He went out in that game too, and not sure whether, and last night at his coach's show, Neil Brown still had both Garrett Green and Wyatt Milam as a TBD, but Jaheim White, who is one of the kind of the 1-2 punch of running backs that they employ with C.J. Donaldson, he should be available for the game. So at least they've got that back, which would probably really help Nico if he is needing to start tomorrow. But losing Milam, who is probably your best, most decorated offensive lineman, would probably hurt. It's probably going to hurt them.
What have been Garrett Green's struggles this year?
I think when they talk about it, they just say it's decision making. For whatever reason, I mean, if you're looking at it, in the 2 previous seasons, he threw 7 picks. He's thrown 8 picks already. And I think it's just been a case of, he's even said sometimes he's tried to do a little too much. I think there have been times where, they just straight up say he's just made the wrong decision. He's admitted he's made the wrong decision. Now, a couple of those picks, they admitted, they would say, hey, that was a PI that wasn't called. But on a couple of other ones, they're like, no, that ball just shouldn't have been thrown. Now, and there was a couple of throws in that last drive that Green was in that got stalled at 4th down on Kansas State's 3. Brown wasn't sure exactly when Green got hurt, so that might have affected the way things were going in that last drive. But yeah, I think it's really been a case of it's just the decision making from Green hasn't been as effective as it was last year when he only threw 4 picks against 16 touchdowns. Right now he's at 9-8.
We're chatting with Derek Redd, who covers West Virginia for the Ogden newspapers in that state. Wildcats and Mountaineers coming up Saturday night here at the stadium with kickoff at 4 o'clock. The West Virginia Mountaineers making their first ever trek out here to play Arizona in the desert. It's going to be close to 100 degrees at kickoff. How do you think, Derek, they are going to handle the heat?
That's a really good question because right now it's about, I think when I was out the door last, it was about 65 degrees. So small change. But like they always say, it's a dry heat. But anyway, I don't know. I mean, I think Neil Brown was like, they doesn't mind the heat. I think they understand. They've got people who have experience in the coaching staff of coaching out west, so they're kind of have an idea of what they need to do to keep everybody hydrated and okay for heat like that. But I think the other thing is when you're dealing with roster issues in terms of injuries, you're already working with a depleted roster. You don't have much wiggle room if someone gets heat sickness or gets dehydrated or can't go because of the heat. You really got to be very cognizant of the weather and what the effects could be. So I would venture that those guys have been going with the trainers a lot this week, trying to figure out, okay, here's what we can do, here's what we can't do, here's what we've got to watch for.
And Derek, obviously you guys are in the 6th year of your regime there with Neil Brown. We're in our first with Brent Brennan, and there was a lot of expectation out here for this team, and those expectations have not been met. I mentioned earlier we're dealing with 2 angry fan bases here right now, maybe more so when on your side that they probably are expecting a whole lot more after 6 years with Neil Brown. I saw the athletics director put out a message to the fans this week. He didn't mention football a whole lot, but just mentioned that we need to support our student athletes. How's that being received? That the athletic director made that move to put out kind of a statement on the, I guess for lack of a better term, a state of the entire department in the middle of the football season.
Well, I think from what I have gathered that is that he kind of does that fall update, winter preview type thing each year. So it's like something like this. I don't think is something too out of the ordinary though. But but you're reading it and it's like, hey, it wasn't just kind of the hey, let's pump up the student athletes. There was also a lot of talk in there of like, we probably do more with less than probably any Power 4 program in the country in terms of resources, in terms of funding, in terms of things like that. So there was also kind of that clarion call for, hey, you might want to open up the walls a little bit, kind of help us out here. But I think that just came out today, and honestly, as I was scanning through a little bit of the social media universe. You know how through that prism it's a little bit rougher than probably real life, but man, that prism is really rough right now. I think the thing about it is, I think one of the things that have disappointed the fan base is this team won 9 games in a bowl game last year, right. And now they're going to 3-4, and these guys were kind of a chic dark horse pick to win the Big 12 this year because you had your entire offensive line returning. You had Garrett Green returning. You had these running backs returning. You were losing a couple of really important defenders, but you were getting some guys in the portal that were stepping up right away and being and jumping into the starting lineup. So there should have been enough returning experience, and there should have been enough veteran presence to be better than what they are right now. But then you have the Pitt game where they had that game won and then let it go in the final minutes. They had their chances against Iowa State, and there was a big blown coverage that allowed that big first touchdown, the 17-play drive where they gave up 3 third downs, including a 3rd and 10. And that's really, if you're looking at some issues where WVU is really struggling, it's 3rd and 4th down. Defense. They are in the bottom 100 or lower in both 3rd down and 4th down conversions by their opponents, and it's been really bad in the last couple of games against Kansas State and Iowa State. So I think that's one thing that WVU needs to watch out for, and Arizona might be looking at something that they might be able to capitalize on is, West Virginia has been allowing these opponents to keep drives alive. And when you have a wide receiver as skilled as yours at McMillan, you kind of look to really kind of capitalize on that.
Derek Redd joining us, covers West Virginia football for the Ogden newspapers in West Virginia. Arizona taking on the Mountaineers Saturday night, 4 o'clock kickoff at the stadium. Our coverage begins from the mall at 11:30 tomorrow. How long have you been covering the team, Derek? Do you go back a ways, or are you relatively new?
Well, I'm relatively new this time around. There's some changes that happen within the within kind of the structure. I just jumped in here for the rest of the season. I started a couple weeks ago, but I have in some other times that I was the sports editor in Charleston, West Virginia, where I've covered Marshall and WVU, and I've covered Florida State in the past, or Pitt in the past. So I have a lot of college football experience. So kind of jumping back into with these guys was just kind of like I could hit the ground running.
Hey, Derek, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us. Continued success with your coverage of the Mountaineers, and hopefully one of these two teams gets back on track tomorrow night.
Well, I mean, somebody's losing streak is going to get snapped, and someone's losing streak is going to keep going. It's just going to be, and I don't know who it is. I mean, this could be a coin flip.
Derek, thanks again. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you.
Derek Redd covers the West Virginia Mountaineers for the Ogden newspapers in West Virginia. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions that are reported: Houghton north of Tanque Verde, Ina at I-10, FEMA and Craycroft, Ina and Thornydale, Kolb Road northbound near Escalante, approaching Escalante for slowdowns and a crash, Mission and Ahaway, also earlier wreck and heavy backups on eastbound I-10 near Marsh Station Road. Highs near 99 tomorrow, 96 and partly cloudy on Sunday, and 95 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Get immersed in new worlds and ideas with Audible. Explore an incredible selection of audiobooks, podcasts, and originals, all in one easy app. There's more to imagine when you listen. Sign up for a free trial at audible.com.
Check out this Mountain West matchup. I'm Joe Ostrowski here to help you beat the books with BetQL. New Mexico visits Colorado State this weekend, and the Lobos are 6.5-point road underdogs. The BetQL model likes the road dog. New Mexico plus 6.5 is a 4-star best bet. I'm Joe Ostrowski. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Join David Kelly for Bear Down Fridays this Friday at Illegal Pete's on University from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. as we get ready for the Wildcats to take on West Virginia at Arizona Stadium this Saturday. Sponsored by Corona for fans of the fine life, an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics.
Hey, Wildcat fans.
than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
You okay?
Sorry, I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute. The Rams saved their season last night, securing a victory over the Vikings to put LA at 3-4 in the season. And after an entire week of trade speculation, I think the Rams will end up keeping their stars as they continue to trend in the right direction, with their next 5 games potentially putting them in a favorable spot, having to go up against Seattle, Miami, New England, Philadelphia, and New Orleans. The Rams survived a rough start and are now in position to go make a run to be one of the 7 teams in the postseason out of the NFC. I'm Zach Gelb.
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts for the power, performance, and reliability of a new Super Start battery. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
Come on in to Total Wine & More. Prices much lower than a grocery store. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Family weekend at the University of Arizona is in full effect down here on the boulevard. I mean, it is bumping. We've got the DJ playing. We've got parents and sons and daughters who are enjoying this beautiful southern Arizona Friday night. I even saw one of the dads here. It looks like he had some official notes from Parents Weekend, like how to navigate everything, or maybe he's got a schedule he's got to stay on because they've got all kinds of things. If your kid is in a sorority or fraternity, there's opportunities for the parents to come out to the Greek houses this weekend. So just a lot of fun stuff happening here at the University of Arizona. We've got 3 games on the docket tonight in college football. One of those games is in the ACC. You've got Louisville at 4-3 on the road at 4-3 Boston College. That game just getting underway. You've got a Mountain West game tonight. This should be a really good one. Number 17 Boise State is playing at unranked but 6-1 UNLV at Allegiant Stadium. So that'll be a game to keep an eye on tonight. Already this season, Ashton Genty, who is the leader in the clubhouse to potentially win the Heisman Trophy, has 1,248 yards and 17 touchdowns this season. Those are some really crazy numbers for 6 games, of which Boise State has played. The other game tonight, which is an 8 o'clock start our time, is out in Los Angeles at the Coliseum. That will be Rutgers at 4-3 and 1-3 in the Big Ten. At Southern California, the Trojans are reeling as they have fallen to 3-4 on the season. They are just 1-4 in the Big Ten Conference, having lost last week in Maryland, a loss at home to Penn State, a loss at Minnesota. Things not going well for Lincoln Riley and the Trojans in the first year in their new conference. Good for them. 520-848-1290.
Good job, Trojans.
Yeah. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. Guys, I want to get into some of our 5-star plays for this weekend for both NFL and college. First of all, let's start with last night. That Vikings minus the 3 did not work out very well because the Rams have their receivers now. Puka Nacua was back. He had a big game. I think that was a little bit more of a surprise. I think everybody was expecting Cooper Kupp to play last night, but the fact that Puka Nacua got out there was a little bit more of a surprise, I think, to a lot of people. And both of those guys stepped up to the plate for Matthew Stafford. And now the Rams have a much different look than they did just a few weeks ago. They are now probably a team that you've got to look at as a contender again in the NFC West.
Well, the key word you used there was look. And if the referee is looking for that face mask, there might be a different story to this game entirely. But, again, that's neither here nor there.
How does that work? We didn't have an angle. Like, we didn't have an angle work in today's day and age?
And see, this is the thing that bugs me so much, DK. I hate to go ahead and go off on a tirade here, but we've just recently had a new session of the NFL's replay reviews board where suddenly plays are being reviewed without flags being thrown or there being anything in the 2-minute warning. Like, these are like 6 minutes or so left in the game.
It's like making up rules because your cousin's beating you at Monopoly right in the middle of the game. Yeah.
We just have random reviews in the middle of games. No flags are being thrown. It's not the final 2 minutes and a half. And we're getting plays reviewed and overturned seemingly out of nowhere. And now all of a sudden, we're saying we don't have a view on a call that we can't make. What's the sky judge for? If you're going to have the sky judge, that has to be included in the situation there.
Well, there's no question about that. I mean, that's like you mentioned, that's what they're for. That's what for the opportunity to review and correct things that can't be seen on the field. I'm right with you there. I'm not sure exactly why that did not happen in that game last night.
Real quick, on a side note, I hear somebody else may be coming back soon for the Niners who's been out all season long. Speaking of people coming back from injury.
Oh, Christian McCaffrey maybe?
Yeah, rumor is Christian McCaffrey is coming back during the bye is what they're saying.
All right, well,
that came out today, yeah.
They need him with the Rams losing all the receivers. Now the 49ers have lost all their receivers while the Rams get theirs back. So the Niners need some kind of assistance right now on the injury front.
So then the Cardinals really need to go down and win in Miami this weekend. And the Dolphins are going to have Tua Tagovailoa back as the quarterback. And that's a very interesting situation. I mean, football players are going to make decisions, and Tua is chosen to come back and play. There's a lot of people that are concerned for what his future is going to look like because he's already had so many concussions. But you just hope that young man can stay safe from here on out and that he is able to recapture some of the fine play that we have seen from him earlier this season and towards the end of last season, because he can truly be a special talent if he's healthy enough to play this season and throughout the rest of his career. All right, so we didn't win last night with the Vikings. That didn't go well. Let's give you our other college football and NFL plays for this weekend, our BetQL 5-star plays. This one I like. BYU is getting 2.5 points on the road at Central Florida, and that's gone up a point. It was at 1.5. I think I'm taking BYU on the road plus 2.5 the way they're playing at Central Florida. Central Florida, I believe, has lost like 3 or 4 games in a row coming into this game.
4 games in a row they've lost, but they did play Iowa State very close in their last game. 38-35 loss at Iowa State. I'd be very intrigued to see how UCF responds knowing that they can hang with the better teams in the Big 12.
Well, yeah, I mean, they lost a close game to Colorado, too. I mean, it's been, they've been one of those teams
I don't know about
right there.
48-21 ain't that close.
Oh, I'm thinking. I'm sorry.
Cincinnati was the other close game.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the other game. Was it TCU they hung with? It was the game that went down to the wire. I think I'm thinking of that game.
TCU they beat on the road at TCU, and they also had a pretty close game against Cincinnati, but the Colorado game was not one in their favor.
I'm thinking of the TCU game, not the Colorado game. But BYU plus 2.5 over Central Florida. I think that's one I would definitely take. The other game of note is one that involves our old friend Jed Fish. They are on the road at Indiana. The play here is to take the over at 53.5 between the Hoosiers and the Huskies, which could be interesting because the Hoosiers are going to be dealing with a different quarterback than they've had all season long. 53.5 the play on that one. All right, let's move on to the NFL. We've got two plays on the Cowboys and the 49ers, a long-standing rivalry in the National Football League. 49ers and the Cowboys, over 47 in that game. What do you think on that one?
I don't like that. The Cowboys have been way too wishy-washy with their offense, but if I had to say to play that bet, it's because the Cowboys have done well on the road. Still undefeated away from Jerry's world, but again, like I said, they've been a little bit too Jekyll and Hyde for me offensively this season.
All right, well, the other play is to take the Cowboys plus the 4 in that game this weekend against the 49ers. So the Cowboys plus 4 and the over at 47 in that game this weekend between those two long-standing rivals in the NFC. Man, they played some NFC championship games for a number of years that were must-see. And that is the Sunday night game, by the way. So we'll have that game right here on Wildcats Radio 1290 beginning at 4:30 with coverage and kickoff at 5:20. One other five-star play for you on the NFL side this weekend is the Chargers -7 against the Saints, who are not looking real good with Spencer Rattler at the quarterback. Spencer Rattler's an interesting kid. Very polarizing. Obviously came out of high school here in Arizona. Went to Oklahoma, transferred to South Carolina, and has always had a tremendous ego, which at times has rubbed people the wrong way. And to see him struggle like he did in that Bronco game, a lot of people took a lot of satisfaction out of him getting his butt kicked in that game. I'd like to see if he can make that bounce back here this weekend. But on the road against the Chargers, I think that's a pretty safe play. The Chargers -7 over the Saints.
Especially considering the fact that not only will you have Spencer Rattler out on the field, but you will not have Rashid Shaheed for the Saints. He's going to miss this game. And the next best receiver on the Saints roster right now may actually be Alvin Kamara. Chris Olave just ahead of him in yards, but both of them only with one touchdown grab so far on the season.
All right, so those are your five-star plays. BYU plus 2.5 over Central Florida. Indiana and Washington, the over at 53.5. 49ers Cowboys, the over at 47. Cowboys plus 4 against the 49ers, and the Chargers -7 over the Saints. Bet responsibly this weekend. All right, we're going to give you your high school scoreboard coming up. Games that will be happening later. We'll do that in the 5 o'clock hour and give you all of that. It's going to be a beautiful night. We actually did have to bring out the jackets, so it was week 9. This is week 10 of the high school football season. We had to bring out the coats last weekend because we mentioned that temperature drop. So we got to week 9 this year. I think there was one year we got to the postseason before we had to put on jackets. But we only made it to week 9, but it's going to be back to beautiful, I think, tonight here in southern Arizona. So I don't think you're going to need a jacket if you're out at your favorite high school game this evening. And we'll let you know the schedule. There's some good games, man. And we can actually tell you right now, we might as well make that announcement right now. It's almost Friday night, And next Friday night, because the Wildcats are on the road at Central Florida, we will be back up in Oro Valley at Push Ridge Christian Academy for their game against Safford, a Conference 3A South battle. Looking forward to going up to Push Ridge. It's always been one of my favorite places to go watch football. Again, one of the most beautiful settings you're going to find right up next to the Push Ridge Mountains. And they have had some successful football dating back really now about 10 years. The Push Ridge Christian Academy Lions have been a powerful football program here in southern Arizona in 3A. Starting out lower than that, I believe when we first started covering, they were 2A. But they have been winning. They've had state championships now, and looking forward to getting up there and getting a chance to see Kent Middleton's team this year. Next week, that'll be our stop. It's almost Friday night for Safford and Push Ridge Christian Academy. All right, let's get to the top of the hour. Dragon Ball is with us. He's going to tell you everything that's happening around the sports world here in southern Arizona and around the world in sports.
Wildcats Radio 1290. 2020 Sports.
Look around campus today and the weekend. The U of A softball team has another couple exhibition games. They take on Chandler Gilbert and Benedictine University Mesa. The soccer team heads up to Tempe to take on Arizona State in their edition of the Territorial Cup there. The big event on campus, however, women's basketball having their first exhibition game tonight as they take on West Texas A&M. The men's and women's swimming and diving team have their meet against Utah this weekend, while beach volleyball makes a trip out to Huntington Beach for the Relentless Beach Collegiate Challenge. Good luck to all the men and women for the University of Arizona programs. And the Cardinals get on the field against the Dolphins this weekend. They will go against the Dolphins offense led by Tua Tagovailoa. The NFL has announced that the Dolphins quarterback did pass the league concussion protocol, set to make his first start since his latest concussion he suffered last month, or 2 months ago almost, against the Bills. And the World Series begins today, and the Dodgers play host to the Yankees in a true East Coast-West Coast series. Plenty of stars to go around, with the Dodgers having some concerns on the mound coming into Game 1, including the likelihood of seeing a return to the mound for one of their stars.
It's my turn to ask the annoying question. Is there any possibility of Shohei Ohtani pitching for you in the World Series?
There is no possibility, Alden. None whatsoever. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. And then also just jumping ahead a little bit with Jack Flaherty, would there be any concern with him coming back on normal rest to pitch the second time in this series, just given how the stuff looked when he pitched normal rest in New York?
Fair question. But I think that, number one, we don't have a different alternative. And number two, we are going to dig into that. As far as kind of the stuff seems like it's been down on regular, but that's kind of the way we set up the rotation. That's just the way it's going to be.
And besides that concern for Flaherty, the Dodgers also announced that their top reliever, Evan Phillips, will be off of the World Series roster. He pitched 6 2/3 innings of shutout baseball across 5 postseason games as they come into the penultimate series. And I'm Dragon Ball with your 2020 Sports Update on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. Some backups at Campbell and River Road. More heavy backups westbound Orange Grove backed up First Avenue back to Skyline Drive, most likely due to travel being rerouted around a closure. Traffic on Skyline Drive blocked between Orange Grove and Pima Canyon Drive due to some water main repair work. Collisions, Wetmore and Flowing Wells slowing there. Grant Road and Silver Bell, Houghton north of Tanca Verde, and also Mission and Ajo Way. And for your weather, looking at about 99 as the high tomorrow, partly cloudy, 96 on Sunday, and 94 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather.
This report is sponsored by Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. At Cool Willie's Plumbing, they'll help you with drain cleaning, water treatment, sewer repairs, and replacements. Trust the big guy. Contact Tucson's most respected plumbing experts at CoolWillies.com, where they are big enough to help and small enough to care. That's CoolWillies.com. CoolWillies.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TRIP to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TRIP for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TRIP for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Can't find the Wildcats on your TV? Don't worry. We always have your back when it comes to the big game.
Oh my God, it is unbelievable.
You will never miss the game if you have your radio locked on 1290.
Such a good feeling to be a Wildcat.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
My helmet saved me after they crashed into my motorcycle, but I still couldn't ride for weeks. The insurance company tried hammering me into a quick settlement. No way. I gave them the bird, the eagle. Goldberg and Osborne. Nobody knows Arizona like the eagle. Phoenix to Tucson, Flagstaff to Havasu, and every bit of blacktop in between. Wherever you go, the eagle is there. So if you've been injured, don't wait. Give the insurance company the bird.
Give them the bird. Call the Eagle. Goldberg and Osborne. 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Alaskan AC has been keeping people chill since 1972.
Oh, chill. Cool. I get it. It's a theme.
No, it's not.
It's not?
The theme is 72, as in 1972.
Is that why you dress like that?
$72 for an Alaska vacation.
Ooh.
$72 for a service call.
Neat.
Even $72 off any repair.
Whoa.
This month, it's 72, 72, 72 to celebrate 1972, the year Alaskan AC opened its doors.
And everybody was kung fu fighting. Everyone was streaking, too. Let's stick to what we do best.
That's right. A $72 Alaska vacation is the perfect way to prepare for the upcoming season. It's so good, we guarantee no breakdowns.
The $72 service call makes it easy to check any concerns. And saving $72 off any repair means that you can buy one of those cool banana seats for your rad bike. You have a weird definition of cool.
72, 72, 72. This month at AlaskanAC.com.
Arizona football fans, your Wildcats are back in action at Arizona Stadium this Saturday for Parents Weekend as they take on the West Virginia Mountaineers. Kickoff is scheduled for 4 p.m. Remaining ticket inventory is limited, so get your tickets now. Call the ticket office at 520-621-CATS. That's 520-621-CATS. Or visit ArizonaWildcats.com/FB and grab your tickets today. Bear down.
This Saturday, your Arizona Wildcats take on West Virginia. The action begins with the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona game day at 11:30 a.m. live from the U of A Mall, leading up to the 4 p.m. kickoff. Only on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. CoolWillies.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. The one and only home of Arizona football. Pre- and post-game coverage, play-by-play, and live press conferences. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
It is family weekend here in Tucson, and the boulevard is jumping. Come on down to University Boulevard. We are at Illegal Pete's here at the corner of University and Tyndall. We've got moms, we've got dads, we've got students, we've got brothers and sisters hanging out here, enjoying this beautiful Friday evening, getting set for Arizona football tomorrow. The Wildcats in desperate need of a win, having lost 3 in a row. Guys, I asked Kelvin Ifan yesterday if this was a must-win game. He says every week is a must-win game. And there is some truth to that. But there comes a point in the season where if you want to have a good feeling come December the 1st, then you need to start winning football games. And I think if this team loses tomorrow, I don't know that it's going to be a very good month of November here in Tucson. So I prescribe to the must-win phrase, and I believe that this team has got to win this game tomorrow here in Tucson.
Yeah, I mean, all things being equal, obviously this is a winnable game. They should. I look at the injuries, especially the captains and the defensive side of things, and that was really the strength. I mean, they've been having a lot of trouble finishing drives outside of the first drive of the last few games. I think it's consistency more than anything is what I'm looking for. I think back to the triple overtime USC game, right, where that was really the turning point of last year's season. They didn't win that game, but the idea of consistently pushing, never giving up, that whole team motto, everybody stay on the same page, staying positive or whatever. To me, DK, yes, obviously the Cats need to win this. Must win for me, it's more like must play well, must play as a team, must play connected more than anything. I'm just looking to see how they look as far as picking up those, what they're getting on first and second downs more than anything, and finishing in the red zone. Really what we've seen these last, 4 weeks, Dragon Ball, is a lot of field goals.
A lot of field goals and a lot of drives that haven't been able to take a lot of time off of the clock, which has put the defense out on the field a lot more so than they probably should. I said earlier in the season that you can always say that scoring is a defense's favorite thing to see on the sideline, and that's not the case. Defenses want to see their offense want to be able to go ahead and rest on their laurels, get a little bit of energy back into them. That way they can be ready to go ahead and try to move those 325-pound offensive linemen and try to catch those wide receivers that run that 22 miles per hour in a straight sprint, because that's what they have to do on any given down basis. If you can get a little bit of consistency on the offensive side to go ahead and sustain drives, you'll see the defense maybe take a little bit more benefit from that. But more importantly, it's just making sure that once you get past that 50-yard line, you're making the right decisions. Are you running the ball when you need to? Are you throwing to the right receiver? And that's something we haven't seen from the Wildcats offense a lot since the opening week game against New Mexico.
All right, it is Arizona and West Virginia. Kickoff coming up at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Our coverage will begin from the U of A Mall at 11:30. Tonight up in Tempe, though, it is Arizona and Arizona State on the football pitch. Wildcats, Sun Devils, Territorial Cup Series. Let's hear from Gianna Christensen, who spoke this week about this upcoming game tonight and the fact that she has become an integral part of the scoring side of this Arizona Wildcats offense this season.
Honestly, I don't know the tactical things that are different, but I just know overall I think that this is the best team that we've had all 4 years. I would say offensively, just as a unit, every individual I think is extremely strong. So that's honestly allowing me to get more up in the attack, and especially our defense too. We've been working 4 years on really strengthening our defense, so I think kind of with that I'm able to get up more, like I said, and get in those goal scoring spaces and getting all those opportunities that I did get in the past, but I'm definitely getting a lot more looks now.
And a couple weeks ago things were looking good as far as the tournament. Probably now you need to make a run in the Big 12. How much do you guys think about that? How much do you try to put it out of your minds?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously that is definitely something that we're thinking about, but we're more looking at it as an opportunity to prove ourselves again. So we're not really looking at it in a negative light, if we only won this game or if we only did this, then we could have not been in this situation. But we're more looking at it as another opportunity to kind of prove ourselves as a team. So more positively, I would say.
You had a pretty tough game against Kansas, but then you bounced back pretty strong against Kansas State, scoring 5 goals in that particular contest. What was the feeling like going into that Kansas State game after the Kansas loss? What was the focus on? Who felt like they needed to step up and things like that? What was the mood in the locker room?
Yeah, I think overall we all took responsibility for that Kansas game, whether that was the coaches or us. I think everyone kind of took responsibility for that game, whether that was us being unprepared or just us not fully locking into that game. But knowing that, we had that performance that Thursday night, we knew coming in Sunday that this was a chance to prove ourselves and prove what kind of team we are, and kind of prove that no matter what we're going through or facing, like, we are able to come up and over it. And I think obviously in that Kansas State game, you're able to see that we did score 5 goals, and I feel like we were pretty ruthless throughout that game. So I think that was kind of just a way to prove ourselves that we do mean business and we are a team to mess around with. And especially going to the Big 12 tournament, I think that sends a great message.
And with that, this season, the first season of the Big 12, still getting adjusted to these new teams, but already with 10 wins overall as a team. How do you guys grade your performance so far through the year as you prepare now for the last game of the year and then the Big 12 tournament?
Yeah, definitely. I think those 10 wins really just give us the confidence to really show us that we are a top team. We are one of the top teams in the country, and we can play against these teams. We can get big wins. And I think kind of carrying those 10 wins into the tournament is more just a confidence piece, knowing that we can win and that we are capable of doing that, but not getting too big-headed and still understanding that we need to keep our heads low and grind and keep pushing forward and continuing to win.
Last rivalry game of your career. What are you thinking about that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the rival games, it's just a bloodbath, which is super fun. Like, this is what we live for, is the rival games. And I know I'm really excited. I know my team, in the locker room, we're already talking about, we do this tradition where we literally don't eat with any forks throughout this whole week. So I'm literally trying to eat noodles with a spoon and a knife. It's really difficult, but I think that kind of just shows how committed we are to beating ASU and just, yeah.
How does it feel like to have a season like this offensively in the same year that the team's really stepped up and really doing really well? Yeah, it feels amazing. I've been here. This is my last year. I've been here all 4 years. I've seen this program get built from really the ground up, with Becca coming in with me when I was a freshman. So we were both new, and I guess kind of just seeing our transformation and our growth throughout these 4 years, it's really amazing. It gives me the chills just thinking about it, that we really were able to go from averaging, I think, 1 to 2 goals per game to now this season 3 to 4 goals per game. So I think offensively and defensively, we've just become a really strong unit altogether.
Were you recruited by Tony?
I was recruited by Tony.
So what was that like coming in with a different coach, and how's that been for you? What were you expecting, and then what was different?
Yeah, so I got recruited by Tony. I committed at the end of my freshman year of high school, so I was 14 years old. I knew that this was the place I wanted to be at, and clearly it worked out. I couldn't have asked for anything better. But yeah, so Tony, he moved to Florida, and he told us 2 months before we were supposed to get here in the summer. So we kind of came in with I don't really know. I was just really training and running and trying to be prepared for whatever coach was coming in. And then once we found out that we were getting Becca, and kind of knowing her background playing for professional soccer, I was honestly extremely excited because I myself want to play professional soccer. So I kind of was very happy that I had a coach that had that background and kind of those contacts that I could maybe leverage, especially after. And she's just so knowledgeable about the game. So I think, she's the best coach I've ever had, and I'm so grateful for her coming in these 4 years. I don't know if Tony was here, I don't know if I could say the same, but I'm just super grateful for Becca.
All right, that is Gianna Christensen, and you heard it said there that from Kim Doss, who covers the team for AZ Desert Swarm, that they probably need to make a run in the Big 12 Conference Tournament to get into the NCAA tournament. The reason for that is obviously those 2 losses really hurt. Losing to Houston was an absolute disastrous loss, and then coming home and getting blown out by Kansas was not good. And the Wildcats' RPI has fallen all the way down to 57. So despite the fact they're 10-5-2, and they're probably going to have a favorable seed in the conference tournament, they still look at RPI in terms of soccer. They've given it up in a number of other sports, men's basketball being one. And 57 is not really where you want to be if you're trying to get an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. And obviously they only really have maybe a couple of games left, maybe 2 games tonight and potentially 1, possibly maybe a second game in the tournament if they can win and advance to really do much to improve that RPI. So it's going to be tough for Arizona. It's not impossible. A victory against maybe one of the top 3 teams in the league in the second round of the Big 12 tournament could help that. But 57 is a big mountain to be looking up for this team to try to get back to the NCAA tournament. All right, we're joined by cricket once again because it is the weekend. I mean, woo, cricket. I told you, like, in the last time, like how we had a 20-degree temperature drop last Friday. I mean, it literally went from being really nice to like we were all dying out here rubbing our hands together. I mean, that's
had to get the hand warmers out.
That's how I felt bad for some of the staff because I brought a pullover because I was a little concerned that it might get a little chillier, but had no idea it was going to drop like that. And then some of our staff did not have. They were like, some of them were like with no sleeves and tank tops and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
exactly. It was not fun. They were trading jackets. They were trading jackets last week to try to keep each other warm. But it is absolutely beautiful out here tonight. I mean, this is a perfect night for family weekend. The drinks are flowing. The Coronas are $5. Do you like Corona? Cricket? Are you?
It's
Corona?
all right. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Sure.
If they're $5, yes.
Do you have a
when they're that, yeah.
Do you have a beer of choice? Do you have a beer of choice that you like?
I do like the light kind of beers, like Mick Ultra, Corona Light, yeah.
All right, you're a light beer.
Pilsner.
You're a light beer lady.
Natty Light.
There you go, Natty Light. Oh man, going back.
Pilsner is what you
going
like.
back. I think we got some members. Is that the? Looks like maybe the. I don't know if that's the. What team would that be? I see some members of potentially the triathlon team maybe walking around down here. Looks like they might be going out to practice. They're dressed in their practice uniform. So we got all kinds of things happening down here on the boulevard. I saw a couple Dodger fans walk by. They're getting ready for the game tonight. So it's going to be a festive night down here on University. But it's going to be a festive night in Southern Arizona this weekend. Cricket, what else do we have going on that people can enjoy while these temperatures are where they are?
Yes, not too frightful Fridays for the kids tonight at Trail Dust Town from 5 to 8. Tonight there is a Taylor Swift dance party at the Rialto Theater starting at 8 this evening. Tomorrow night, a night of fright at Pima Air and Space Museum. Trick-or-treating and fun stuff for the kids starts at 5. Also tomorrow, Trunk or Treat with the Pima County Sheriff's Department at Keno Main Complex from 4:30 to 7:30. And tomorrow night, Bret Michaels is live in concert at Casino del Sol's Ava Amphitheater tomorrow night.
You're going to be there, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we've got ZZ Top tonight and Bret Michaels. So Bret Michaels just does his own shows now? He doesn't have a band or anything? Or what's his, like...
Well, I'm sure he's got some band behind him, but I think it's just Bret Michaels, and he's calling it his Party Gras.
His Party Gras.
And I hear Dee Snider. Yeah, Dee Snider from Twisted Sister will also be there. And I think Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray.
Wow, okay.
If you remember Sugar Ray.
That sounds about right.
So all
sounds
these,
about the right crew to hook up together, sure.
All these guys gave up their groups, and they just go perform solo with each other.
Party Gras. Yeah.
All right, Cricket, have a great weekend. Thank you. She's getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
Thank you. From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Earlier collision occurred eastbound I-10 near Marsh Station Road. Pretty heavy backups on eastbound I-10 approaching State Route 83 all the way to Marsh Station Road. Collisions that are reported on Campbell near Bilby, 22nd Street near Park Avenue, Wetmore and Flowing Wells with backups on Flowing Wells at Wetmore, Grant and Silverbell, and also Houghton north of Tanca Verde clearing. Slowdowns Campbell and River Road, more backups on westbound Orange Grove, backed up First Avenue back to Skyline Drive. Travel on Skyline Drive right between Orange Grove and Pima Canyon Drive being diverted due to water main repair work. 99 is the high tomorrow. On Sunday, partly cloudy, and 96 and 92 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The slow-roasted Cantina chicken menu is here to stay with ingredients like purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. Try it today at a participating U.S. Taco Bell location while supplies last. Contact store for participation, which varies.
Escape the ordinary and indulge in a world of excitement at Park Place Mall. Discover endless possibilities with over 100 stores, restaurants, and entertainment options. Join them for the monthly Kids Club, Yappy Hour, and seasonal events. From passion to food, it's all at Park Place Mall, where you belong.
Remember, if you listen to the Jim Rome Show, you were listening to 1290.
It's on the up and up, it's all straight, and that's how that is.
Tucson's home of the Jim Rome Show. He's also your home of the NFL. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is
In affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Your home, your family, your moments. First Alert is reminding you to be prepared and install smoke and carbon monoxide alarms on every level and in every bedroom of your home. Don't forget to add First Alert fire extinguishers on every level, plus the kitchen. And know how to use them. Protection is key to help protect life's moments, and First Alert is your partner through it all. Get fire safety you can trust by visiting firstalert.com and Lowe's stores today.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Our guy Rich Carrillo checks in. He's watching the show on YouTube. DK is the man, a man amongst boys in the Tucson sports media. We appreciate Rich for checking in as always. High school football Friday night, week number 10 of the season. A lot of games going on. One of those games is down in Sarita. The boys from my neighborhood, Catalina Foothills, looking for their second win of the season against Walden Grove. Let's check in with our guy, Bill McCullough from 520 Sports Talk. He is going to be calling that game tonight. And, Bill, my kids need a win. They're only 1-6 on this season. What do my kids got to do to get a victory this year?
You know, I was looking at that when I was researching the game. But, yeah, they're 1-6. But they're 1-1 in 4A Keno. So
there you go.
Walden Grove's 2-0. So if they get the win tonight, they'll tie Walden Grove for a better divisional record.
Yeah, but you're talking about the 4A Keno division. That obviously is not an easy league. You've got a couple of teams in that particular region that go by the names of Canyon del Oro and Micah Mountain. So if anybody has any designs on winning this thing, they've got to go through Micah Mountain, I think, this year. We were out there a couple of weeks ago, and I was quite shocked that they beat CDO as bad as they did last weekend. But it's lining up. If Walden Grove gets by this game, it's going to be Walden Grove and Micah Mountain for that region championship coming up here in a few weeks.
No, I agree, definitely. Yeah, Micah Mountain is a juggernaut. They're definitely the team to beat. CDO, obviously, defending state champs, but had a lot of graduation. I think they're kind of down a notch from the last couple of years. But they're still a good team. Scott does a good job up there. Tonight, when we make our schedule for the Friday night before the season started, and when I saw this game, I thought it would, at this point in the season, it would be very, very competitive between both. Having, similar records, but that's not the case tonight. But, you got to play it on the field. It doesn't count on paper, so anything can happen.
Can you flex games? Are you a flexer? Do you flex your schedule based on, like you mentioned, you put it together at the beginning of the season? Have you ever flexed out any games for better games?
Actually, we haven't done it this year, only because of the fact that we've got a brand new production manager. He does a great job. If you've watched our games, there's a constant scoreboard on the screen.
Nice.
There's our logo. There's the logo of the participating teams. Yeah, he does a really good job. The two games that I had in the middle of October, we were going to just do best matchup, but he had to go out of town back east, and so I took advantage of that as well and went up to the White Mountains.
So in other words, 520 Sports Talk, you guys are raising your profile with getting things going there, a little bit better graphics and such on these broadcasts. Stepping up your game.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. We're shooting in 4K, and we're still on the Facebook Live just because we get a lot more viewers. We tried YouTube. It works great, but we just didn't get the viewers, and that's what we're all about is to acknowledge and promote the student athletes and the schools in Southern Arizona. So we'll keep it on Facebook for the time being.
Let me ask you this question. We had this as our question of the day last Friday, and the question was around South Point Catholic and the fact that obviously they are currently the only 6A team in Southern Arizona, and they've only played one other team this season. Their entire schedule has been, other than the game against Marana, their entire schedule has been outside of the area. They obviously played last week at home against one of the top teams in 6A and lost that ball game against Peoria Liberty. Do you think that because they're not playing Tucson teams that they've lost a little bit of a luster on their star? And what I'm saying is that it's like you get so used to okay, this local team is playing this local team, this local team is playing that local team, and now you get all these games with South Point where they're playing all these Phoenix teams, and it's almost like a subliminal. They get lost subliminally because they're not playing other teams here in Southern Arizona. Do you think that's the case?
I would agree with that to a certain extent. Over the years before they got put in 6A and in the open division on a couple of years, like when Bijan was with them, they were a big fish in a little pond. And now that, they've kind of readjusted and they're in 6A, they're going to have to play the Phoenix team just because there's no other Tucson teams or schools that, one, has the enrollment or two, has the name recognition of South Point. I still think they're a very, very good team. They're a dangerous team. But when you're always playing Phoenix teams, whether it's over at South Point or up in the valley, that a lot of times I think they kind of go unnoticed with some of the people down here in Southern Arizona.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the point. I mean, no question, they're still a pretty powerful program, and they may actually, who knows, they might actually win that league this year. But it just seems like because they're not playing local teams, they've almost gotten forgotten. And that was the case for their non-conference. Even their out-of-region games, they didn't play. Like I said, they only played Marana out-of-region. I just think that maybe they might want to throw one or two more Tucson teams in there to kind of keep themselves top of mind here in Southern Arizona. They'll be on the road tonight against Mountain Point in that 6A Central, where right now they are 2-0. Brophy Prep is 2-0. We had a chance to talk to Victor Yates earlier this week. He's an assistant coach at Brophy Prep, and so that is lining up to potentially be the championship game in that 6A Central, and that'll be the last game of the season. They'll play. They played Corona del Sol. That's Brophy Prep. Yeah, so Brophy Prep played last night, and they beat Corona del Sol to go to 2-0. But that's lining up to be the championship game, and that'll be at the end of the season. So that'll be the final game of the season coming up on November the 8th, 2 weeks from tonight. Who are any other dark horses you got come postseason that you like, Bill?
Well, getting back to the South Point thing, I know that they're 6A. If they went strictly by enrollment, they would be 4A, because I know they're 4A in their non-rev sports and some of the Title IX sports. But I'd like to see a matchup between South Point and Micah Mountain. I think that would be a great marquee matchup for the city of Tucson and for the town of Vail.
That would be a good one, for sure. That would definitely be a good game to be seen here in Southern Arizona. Bill, tell the folks how they can watch the game tonight.
Okay, so if you go to Facebook, go to the 520 Sports Talk page, and whether you're out and about or if you're at home, especially if you're at home, just put 520 Sports Talk in the search bar, click our logo, and you can watch it. Every smart TV in the world has a Facebook app, so another reason why we use that platform.
There you go. There you go. You can watch the game tonight. It'll be Walden Grove against the who are they playing again?
Catfoot.
That's right. That's right. Check it out.
Catalina Foothills. Yeah, the Falcons.
That's right. My kids. So. See how quickly I forget about my kids?
It happens. It happens.
520 Sports Talk is the place to be for your high school football every Friday night. Bill, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Take care, guys.
Bill McCullough, 520 Sports Talk. Let's let you know other games that are happening in Southern Arizona. tonight. Lots of stuff happening in terms of your high school football. And as we get down to the tail end of the season, Tanque Verde, 4-4, is on the road at Santa Rita. The Eagles still looking for their first win of the season. Number 18, Bisbee. Bisbee, 7-1. They've had a lot of coaching changes of late, but they're still playing competitive football down there. They'll be on the road at Tombstone tonight. Tombstone 5-3. Mountain View is at Maricopa. Both those teams 4-3. Ironwood Ridge going to host Nogales. Nogales has not won this season, but Ironwood Ridge is 6-1. Flowing Wells on the road at Tucson High. Tucson High, a surprise team in Southern Arizona this year at 5-2. Canyon del Oro will try to get back right after losing to Micah Mountain last week. They'll host Pueblo tonight up on the north side. This should be a good one as well. Marana and Buena for the that'll probably essentially be the title match in that Conference 5A region there. Marana at 8-0. Buena comes in at 6-1. So that'll be a game to keep an eye on as well. You've got Saguaro at home tonight against 7-0 Micah Mountain. Micah Mountain, the juggernaut we were just talking about. Sahuarita, 4-3, is at Rincon tonight. You've got Sabino at home against Morenci. The SaberCats have fallen to 2-6 this season. Push Ridge Christian Academy will be there next Friday night for their game against Safford. They're on the road against Thatcher tonight, though. A battle of 7-1 teams. This is a huge, huge game in Conference 3A. Rio Rico will visit Amphi this evening in our neighborhood. Empire will host Choya. Choya 1-7, Empire 3-4. Desert View on the road at Casa Grande tonight. Cienega and Sunnyside will duke it out over in Vail. Both those teams are 3-4. Benson is 5-3. They'll host Wilcox tonight. And South Point Catholic, as we mentioned, is on the road at Mountain Point. That is your high school football scoreboard. Get out and see a game here tonight in Southern Arizona.
Also, shout out Desert Christian too, right?
Yes, I don't know if they're playing tonight.
Postseason.
Oh, they're in the postseason?
No, but they made the postseason for the first time ever. Yeah, They made the postseason. They've never made 11-man postseason. They've only been playing football for a few years, but yeah, they made
this year,
they're the number 1 seed right now.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. Desert Christian is in the postseason. I know the Conference 1A season ends a little bit earlier than the rest of the campaign, so I'm just going to pull that up.
Yeah, I think yesterday. Yesterday was the last day, yeah.
I'm going to pull that up real quick here. So here's what we've got in 1A. You've got the top seed is Hayden. The number 2 seed is Baghdad. Mogollon is 3, and St. David is 4. So they all get byes. Round 1, you've got Williams will play Desert Christian. So that is tonight. So Desert Christian hosting Williams tonight in the first round of the playoffs over on the east side. So good luck to those kids as they play their first season and their first playoff game. Salome is at Mojave Accelerated, Superior at El Capitan, and Desert Heights Prep is at Lincoln Prep. Again, St. David and Hayden. Hayden is the defending champion in Conference 1A. They are the number 1 seed. Once again, both those teams we consider Hayden and St. David here in Southern Arizona. All right, one more segment to go from here. Don't forget also women's basketball tonight. We'll dive into that when we come back. Their first exhibition game. DK on the Sports Tip coming to you live from the heart of Tucson, University Boulevard, getting you set for Bear Down Fridays, the pep rally. The band is just about 24 minutes away. Cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions at a reported 22nd Street near Park Avenue, Wetmore and Flowing Wells backups at that intersection. Houghton north of Tanque Verde. Also eastbound I-10 near Marsh Station Road. Earlier crash there. Your backups on eastbound I-10 from Wentworth, Colossal Cave Road to Marsh Station Road. More slowing Campbell and River Road and the westbound side of I-10. Some slowing approaching Ruthroff. And I'm Cricket, and your weather, 99 tomorrow, 96, partly cloudy on Sunday, 92 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to O'Reilly Chevrolet and test drive a new EV, and then I'll receive 2 tickets to Terror in the Corn. And this year, those zombies are not going to win at paintball.
O'Reilly Chevrolet. This report is sponsored by Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. At Cool Willie's Plumbing, they'll help you with drain cleaning, water treatment, sewer repairs, and replacements. Trust the big guy. Contact Tucson's most respected plumbing experts at CoolWillies.com, where they are big enough to help and small enough to care. That's CoolWillies.com. CoolWillies.com.
Alaskan AC has been keeping people chill since 1972.
Oh, chill. Cool. I get it. It's a theme.
No, it's not.
It's not?
The theme is 72, as in 1972.
Is that why you dress like that?
$72 for an Alaska vacation.
Ooh.
$72 for a service call.
Neat.
Even $72 off any repair.
Whoa.
This month, it's 72, 72, 72 to celebrate 1972, the year Alaskan AC opened its doors.
And everybody was kung fu fighting. Everyone was streaking too. Let's stick to what we do best.
That's right. A $72 Alaska vacation is the perfect way to prepare for the upcoming season. It's so good, we guarantee no breakdowns.
The $72 service call makes it easy to check any concerns. And saving $72 off any repair means that you can buy one of those cool banana seats for your rad bike. You have a weird definition of cool.
72, 72, 72. This month at AlaskanAC.com.
Arizona football fans, your Wildcats are back in action at Arizona Stadium this Saturday for Parents Weekend as they take on the West Virginia Mountaineers. Kickoff is scheduled for 4 p.m. Remaining ticket inventory is limited, so get your tickets now. Call the ticket office at 520-621-CATS. That's 520-621-CATS. Or visit ArizonaWildcats.com/FB and grab your tickets today. Bear down.
Ryan Radke here from Sunday Night Football on Westwood One. Join Mike Golick and me this week for an NFC matchup between Dallas and San Francisco. Brock Purdy, George Kittle, and the 49ers fell to 3-4 last week. Now they host Dak Prescott and a 3-3 Cowboys team also off to a rough start. But they are coming off their bye week. Should be a fun one. Don't miss any of the action on Sunday Night Football.
Coverage begins at 4:30 on your home for the NFL, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Hi, you know me, Scott Lehman from ScottSaysYes.com. Check out this month's Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar powered by Premier Auto Center.
Visit the Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar at wildcatsradio1290.com to find out what community events are coming up in the Tucson area. You can also find Wildcats Radio 1290 events, upcoming sporting events, and more. Get the details and get involved with our community at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Go to ScottSaysYes.com today.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute, sponsored by Sleeper, a Blitz product. Just download the Sleeper app today. Must be present in certain states. Visit Sleeper.com for details. We have a star-studded World Series starting tonight with Aaron Judge and Juan Soto leading the way for the New York Yankees, and Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts trying to capture the Commissioner's Trophy for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, I have the biggest star in the game, Shohei Ohtani, winning his first World Series in 6 games, with Mookie Betts winning the World Series MVP. I'm Zach Gelb.
Football is back, and what better way to celebrate than winning some cash with Sleeper Picks? Sleeper Picks is a fantasy game, but you could win real money. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If your picks are right, you win. You could pick up to 8 players to win up to 100 times your money. And Sleeper has a couple huge offers to kickstart the football season. For new users, Sleeper will match your first deposit with up to $100 credit to your account. If you've already played, Sleeper's got discounted player projections for you every week of the season. So download the Sleeper app now and use promo code BLOCK, and your first deposit will be doubled with a credit up to $100. What are you waiting for? Download Sleeper today and use code BLOCK for a credit up to $100 match on your first deposit. That's code BLOCK. Must be 18 years in most states and in state where it is legal. Promo code and other restrictions apply. Visit sleeper.com. Please wager responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-426-2537 for help. Sponsored by Sleeper, a Blitz product.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Final segment of the show coming down here at Bear Down Fridays. People are starting to line Tyndall for the pep rally, which will be getting on here in about, 17 minutes or so. We've also got women's basketball tonight here in Tucson. The exhibition game for the ladies is happening over at McHale Center. That will start at the top of the hour as the ladies will take on West Texas A&M to get their season underway. Again, you can hear those games this season on Freedom 1400. Freedom 1400 will be back again carrying Arizona women's basketball. Had a chance to catch up with Montea Dew ahead of the start of the season. Now let's hear a little bit of the conversation on this young lady who had to sit out all of last season due to injury and is itching to get back on the court. The question is where she's going to be on the court.
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Are you a guard, Montea Dew, or are you a forward? I've always kind of wondered. You've got the size to be a forward, but I know you've got the ball skills to be a guard. How do you look at yourself?
I feel like this year I'll be a guard this year. but usually I'm a forward, but this year I'll be out on the wing.
It's been a while since you've played in an actual competitive game. How have you dealt with this long layoff from actually being in game competition, and how excited are you to actually get back and see other people with other jerseys and be able to play the game again?
Yeah, I'm super excited. Even just last year wearing the number 3, but this year actually being on the court and wearing my original number 12, super excited about that. And I feel like I've had a lot of support throughout this whole process, and I'm very grateful for the people I've had around me, so I'm really excited to be back on the court, especially with the teammates that I have this year. So I'm really happy and excited.
All right, let's talk numbers. Why 3 last year, and what's the meaning behind your original number 12?
3 last year, Esmeralda Martinez, she had number 12, so I just had to, pick the next number. And 3 didn't really have any significant, no meaning to it, but I chose 12 for, it's always just been my favorite number. It was my brother's favorite number, and I always looked up to him when I was younger, so I just chose number 12.
What was his influence on you in playing this game?
That's a great question. He played football. Number 12 was his favorite number because he had a group of 12 people, and he's my oldest brother, and I just always thought he was super cool and just wanted to be like him growing up.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 2 older brothers and 1 older sister.
How have you, obviously you guys have been through a painful situation with the loss of your mom. How have you leaned on your siblings to kind of get through that?
I think it brought us a lot closer, and we talk every day, we make sure everyone's okay, and I feel like we've just all gone through the experience together and just living through this experience together and just being able to be closer, and we all feel the same emotion, and so we're all able to lean on each other and just continue living through life without her.
Are there things you do to honor her every day?
Yeah, I continue to talk to her and pray with her through before games, and I play basketball for her now, and I'm excited to be back on the court, and I know she'll be in McHale with everyone else and just watching me play. So
obviously, anytime you go through your first major injury, that's got to be tough. We've heard the stories about how you have the surgery. There's good days, there's bad days. What helped you get through that rehab process part of it?
I would say the people I've had around me. Adia, she's been like a second mom to me throughout just everything that I've been through out here, just making sure I'm okay, even just checking in with my family or like close friends back at home that are super close to me. And my teammates have really helped me a lot. Just always making sure I'm okay, always hanging out with me and, just being close. And then even like my trainer, Bart, like we really pushed this year and just really tried pushing to get me back on the court. And I'm really grateful for him for getting me to where I'm at now.
What is some of that sage advice that Adia has given to you?
She's given me a lot. I would say not really advice, but just her being here for me, just letting me know that like I have support around me and that I'm okay and that I can keep going. Just like even if I need like a mental day, like for anything that I'm going through, she's willing to let me step out and take that day for myself and just make sure I'm okay.
So obviously we were talking at the beginning, like where we might see you on the floor. You said the wing. What excites you about maybe being somebody on the outside that can knock down shots and create for this team?
Yeah, I think me being on the wing spreads the floor a lot because I know I'll have more of a post guarding me, and that'll allow my teammates to be able to attack more, just be able to set up more plays and just do a lot more on the court. And I feel like being out on the wing, I feel like I could do more, like attack the basket more is more like my specialty, or like seeing the court and seeing all my players and finding open shots for them. So yeah, I would say that.
I noticed obviously first day of practice, you and Aaron both have the leg braces on. Both of you had the knee surgery.
Thing was like one day I'd be really good, my knee would feel good, and then the next it would hurt really bad. So I just like the uncertainty of like if my knee will feel okay or not, and just kind of like the anger of like why isn't my knee like back to where it's at or where it's supposed to be. So I'd say that was the hardest thing.
We're pleased to be joined by Montea Dew. So I would imagine you're a redshirt freshman this year, correct? Redshirt freshman wing for the University of Arizona. So you got to sit back and watch last year. What did you see? What did you learn from that year, just kind of watching the game at this level? Really year and a half because you got here early in 23.
I would say the biggest thing is just seeing like the pace of how my teammates play and like how hard like they work on the court, and just knowing that like I have to get out there and play the exact same way that they do, if not harder, because of everything that happened. But I feel like sitting on the bench, you're able to see a lot more and see like, oh, like this person needs to be in this position, and just you get to learn a lot more just sitting on the bench instead of being on the court. So I'm kind of grateful that this situation did happen, just giving me more time to come back better than before and just being able to learn more.
Yeah, it's crazy to see. We think we haven't seen you on the floor, but this is actually the third team you've been on because you got here a semester early. Who's maybe the one player that's not here anymore that influenced you the most?
I would say definitely Puyo. She was on the court, off the court, just the best person to be around, super funny, and she plays like a pro, and that's somebody that you want to look up to, especially on the court. And so I definitely miss Puyo. She was definitely, I feel like everyone does. But yeah.
You guys have got some new transfers here this year, this team. Who's kind of stood out to you?
I'd say a lot of people have, like Jaw, like especially coming from like a high school, like you just see like the difference between the two different schools, and her bringing that here and pushing us and just pushing us to be at a greater level, and like her athleticism. And I say everybody has brought a lot of new skills to the court that I feel like we've all needed to fit into one piece. And so I feel like everyone's brought something great to this team.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Montea Dew out of Las Vegas, Nevada, Centennial High School, a state champion in high school. And again, she's going to see the floor for the first time. She got here as a mid-year enrollee in January of 23. And here we are in October of 2024, and she is going to see her first action on the floor for the Arizona Wildcats. It's going to be fun to watch. It's it's almost like adding a four-star freshman to this roster.
I mean, adding
like
just a seventh player who can actually suit up and get in the game, DK, is a good start.
Exactly.
This is true.
Exactly.
I mean, after last year.
Well, they definitely don't have the problems they had last year in terms of the roster. They don't have Tommy's roster with 20 people, but they do have a pretty sizable roster, and there haven't really been, at least of note, any major injuries in the preseason, and that's a good thing for this team coming into this year to have some solid, healthy bodies to go with this year. West Texas A&M, that game tips off here in about 7 minutes over at McHale Center.
Get ready to play some defense, ladies.
Yes, yes. You can listen to Derek Palmer's call over on Freedom 1400. All right, that is going to wrap up our show from down here. The folks are out. They're ready for the pep rally tonight. Don't forget, we'll be on the U of A Mall tomorrow at 11:30. Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day, leading you up to kickoff 4 o'clock, the Wildcats and the West Virginia Mountaineers. Thanks to everybody that joined us today. Appreciate Frank Castro, Derek Red joining us, as well as Bill McCullough. Thanks to everybody that was out here today. We got Riley, we got Jackie, we got Priscilla helping us out, and the guys back in the studio. We got J-Dub, of course, Dragon Ball, and Cricket. That is our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow, 11:30. It's DK on the Sports Tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported in Clearing, Houghton near Tankerverde on Houghton north of Tankerverde, Wetmore and Flowing Wells and Wetmore with some backups for traffic on Flowing Wells near Wetmore. I-10 near Marsh Station Road. That collision occurred eastbound I-10 near Marsh Station Road, and the backups between Wentworth Colossal Cave Road to as you pass Marsh Station Road on eastbound I-10. 99 the high tomorrow, 96 partly cloudy on Sunday, and 90 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcat.